Hey guys, we're going to do a quick little video over what every deer needs and what you guys need to be really thinking about and understanding where you guys are hunting, whether this is a new piece of property or an existing one. Things change in regards to what farmers will plant or people will plant as trees and food plots, and just figuring out exactly where you're sitting at. And this can go from anything from your public land all the way to private ground. So number one is going to be your food. And that's anything from the agriculture fields to your Nixa hardware food plots there, to any kind of supplemental feeding if you're allowed to do that during the season, such as your heavy rack deer feed, on into your acorn trees. White oaks early, red oaks can definitely benefit late in the year. A lot of times there, depending on what the year and the growth is there. But just keep in mind where that food is, and you don't have to have the food necessarily on your piece of property there. So we'll go through just a quick little example. Say we got a 40-acre piece here we're hunting, and we've got quite a bit of farm ground around there. Maybe there's some farm ground on one particular area. What I'd recommend you doing is creating a little Nixa hardware food plot in there, or kill plot or staging plot. Let those deer transition from that bedding out into that food plot in the evening. Harvest them if you see fit before they move out to the bigger agriculture fields, and that will work out good. Now, the secondary one is going to be water, and basically that's anything from a pond to a stream to a creek, anything that's holding water year round. If you're finding yourself up on top of ridges and you want some water, I absolutely love using the water tanks. I'm a big fan of the 50-gallon water tanks just because they're low profile and I'm able to get a lot of great footage from all kinds of wildlife. But there's nothing wrong with going with the bigger ones, but if you do go ahead and do that, make sure you've got some sort of stick. I like to actually use a cinder block inside those, and then a large stick wedged up in there. That way, if a squirrel or some other animal, actually dumps in there, they're not going to drown, and they're able to get out of there pretty safely there. And then the third one is going to be cover, and that's anything from your bedding cover to just natural cover. I know a lot of guys, a lot of hunters are getting out there doing all these hinge cuts and stuff, and that works great for 4 or 5 years. But one thing you got to really think in mind is you've made you're going to have to maintain that. So definitely keep that in mind. The way I kind of look at it is I like to kind of let nature take its course for the most part, and I think the best way of doing just kind of creating new cover is just doing an entire burn on that particular piece of property if you've got it, and then along with that, trying to get in some sort of CRP ground, or depending on what your piece of property is, you can go a lot of different directions there. And then the very final one, and that to me is probably the most important one, is going to be unpressured. A deer in the early season, they're going to be on their summer patterns, they're going to be rock solid, but as soon as you step in those woods, whether you're checking a trail camera, going there and hanging a stand, whatever, those deer are really going to start feeling some pressure. If you're entry and exit and you're not playing the wind and thermals, they're going to feel that pressure. They're going to be bailing out of there, and chances are your neighbor's going to be harvesting before you even get the chance. So, that's just another thing to kind of keep in mind, and that goes from early season all the way through season on into that late season time period. And even after that, I'm very cognizant of not actually going into any of our woods, but maybe once or twice a year. And typically that is to put my trail cameras out in July. And then secondly, is going to be if I do have a big mature deer and I want to hunt near bedding areas in there, I'll go hunt him. And then the third is going to be late season as I shed hunt. And then I try to take that time period to also replace batteries if I need to, and work through that. So just kind of keep those 4 things in mind. Food, understanding where that food is, where those deer are hidden it throughout the season there. The water, again, if you got to put some water tanks in there, that's great. Running some cellular trail cameras on there, it works out fantastic. The cover there, make sure you understand the bedding and where those deer are moving in and out of, and they feel an unpressured area. And I think that will provide a better opportunity for you guys to not only see those deer, but have a great chance at harvesting them there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Like always, hopefully you guys are getting out there in nature, and best luck on your upcoming hunt.